Hello, I'm going to show you how to format a Google Doc in MLA. So we're looking at how the document is laid out, not the details of the works cited entries or in-text citations. And when I'm starting out, if it were from a blank document, I'd want to switch it to double from the beginning. I've already got something written. I can use Control A or click and drag or Command A to highlight it and then apply the double spacing. And then I would want to come up into the header, which if you just double click, it'll pop right in there. If it's on the left when you do that, you can go into the justification and choose right. So it might show up like that, where it's over here. Go in here into the alignment and choose right, and it'll come up over here. And then insert page numbers. And then top of page right, don't select this one because that will put the first page as the second page to allow for a cover page. We're not doing that in MLA. So we'll do this from the first page. And also do not click the different first page. Use that when you don't want the header on the first page, but MLA calls for it on the first page. And then you will come on the other side of that one and type your last name. That's not my last name. We'll just pretend it's Bob Dylan. So as if you would take a writing course. So then you can just click anywhere outside the paper and it'll take you back out of the header. Don't type the number 1 because then every page will say page 1. You have to insert that function, insert page numbers, and then select that, okay? And then type in your name, and now your last name and whatever page it is will show up, whether it's 2, 3, 4, 5. And then in the upper left of the first page, not in the header, you'll type your name, first and last, and then your professor's name. And it depends. When I usually have my students just write my name without the title there, but other professors might like you to put professor or whatever it may be. And then you put the name of the course. I teach something called Writing 150, okay? And sometimes there could be a section number, you know, something like that. And then the date, let's just say this is like that, and it's day, the month spelled out, year. In other places, MLA abbreviates the months, but here you spell it out. And then the next line is your title, and you want to come back to alignment and center your title. All right, it's not the most scintillating title there, but that's how it's formatted. We're not looking for a good grade here. We're just looking for perfect MLA formatting. So then your paragraphs, use the tab key, and then paragraph, and then if you had another paragraph, you'd hit tab again. Don't put space like 5 spaces. That won't go to a ½ inch. Paragraph, use the tab key. It's usually defaulted to ½ inch is what it should be in MLA. Let's say that's all our paper is. Again, we just want the formatting here, not a wonderful paper. So now the works cited page, one way that sometimes we'll do that is hit enter, 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 enter until we go on a new page and then put the works cited there because it should be at the top of the page. However, then if you come and add or subtract from your paper, the works cited will move up and down and may not end up being halfway down the page or something. So you want to actually go to insert, page break. So you go to insert, break, and then page break. And that'll take you to the top of a new page, and your works cited will stay at the top of the page. So normally it won't be on page 2. This is just a very short paper. And it should be centered. Okay, and then you keep this evenly double spaced. So even within your works cited entries, it should all be double spaced. Let's say this is one entry. Got another one. Now, where does one entry start and the other stop? You can kind of see by the right side, the jag areas of the right side. But what we use is hanging indent, which is the opposite of a normal paragraph. And there are different ways to do that. If you're in Word, you can sometimes use, depending on your software and your computer, you can use Command T or Control T to put hanging indent very quickly with a keyboard command. That'll give you a new tab if you're in Google Docs. So how you do that in here, you can highlight one or several at a time, and then there are two ways. One, you can use the ruler, drag it out to a ½ inch after you've highlighted it, and then the top back to 0. Okay, I'll do that one more time, and I'll do it with all 3 at once. So I've got 3 entries there. If I drag this out to a ½ inch, grabbing the little caret there, and then come back to that bar in the top and move it back to 0, I'll have hanging indent. So here's an entry, here's an entry, here's an entry. And what happens here, if I come back and edit one of those entries, if it goes to more lines, it keeps it nicely in hanging indent. Okay. There's another way to do that, which is to highlight them and go to Format, Align and Indent, Indentation Options, Special Indent, Hanging, Apply, and that'll do it. And then again here, that will do the same thing. If you edit, it will keep it in a hanging indent. And I'll show you the other way people might do that, is to hit Enter to break the line and then make a tab. This is not a good way to do it because if you come back here and edit, you're all jacked up. So what you'll have to do is remove those tabs and enters before you do that. If you have, let's say, now I think I removed the tab and the enter. Let's say, yeah, see, you can't just tab. So let's say I hit enter and tab, and then I want to say, okay, I want to do it the right way. If I remove that tab and I do this, it still won't work because that invisible enter is in there. Okay, so if you get frustrated with that, make sure you've removed the enter also, that invisible enter that broke the line. And this again, that's if you're backtracking. If you haven't applied any tabs or enters, you should be able to do it without any problem. So that's how to format in MLA if you're in Google Docs.